Hi, I'm Dr. Noelle Lucas from Blue Oasis Pet Hospital, and I'm here to answer some more questions that you have on your dog's heart health and cardiology related to heart disease in dogs. So I have an assistant, Alex, who's going to ask me some questions.
Dr. Lucas, what's the first sign of a heart issue in dogs?
Sometimes you're not even going to know that there's a heart issue until you see your veterinarian and we listen to your dog's heart and we actually uncover a heart arrhythmia or maybe a murmur. If your dog does have heart disease and there's symptoms at home, you're going to maybe notice sometimes the first sign that unfortunately pet parents see is maybe a faint. So a dog just faints out in the yard because it's got cardiovascular disease or an arrhythmia. Sometimes your dog may have an unknown heart disease and goes into congestive heart failure and has exercise intolerance, is panting and also coughing. So those would be some symptoms of cardiac disease in dogs.
How do I know if my dog has a heart issue?
So you may not know your dog has a heart issue until you actually bring your dog in and has a good physical exam by a veterinarian. And then we uncover that your dog has either a heart murmur or an arrhythmic beat. And so it's sometimes discoverable on that physical exam with your veterinarian that your dog has a suspected heart disease.
How are heart murmurs in dogs diagnosed?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have to listen to your dog's heart. And when we listen to it with a stethoscope, we're putting it on both sides of our chest walls and we're listening to all 4 heart valves and we're seeing, hey, do we hear them closing normally? So it sounds like bump, 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 bump. If there's a murmur, it sounds different and it'll sound like psh, psh, psh when we listen to that heart. And then we grade that murmur just depending on how loud it sounds to us. We have had an occasional pet parent that actually hears a heart murmur in their dog and then brings them in and says, hey, I think my dog has a heart murmur, because you can sometimes, if the murmur is loud enough, you can hear it with your ear. And so if you have a pet who you're napping with or you're getting really close to their chest and listening to that sweet little heart of theirs, sometimes you can actually hear that murmur. Most of the time, a heart murmur is diagnosed by a veterinarian.
So what does an echocardiogram show that an x-ray doesn't?
So what is an echocardiogram first, right? What's an echo? That's ultrasound of the heart, and that's a different way that we can look at the heart as opposed to chest x-rays. They're both used together, an echo and chest x-rays, to get a complete picture of your dog's heart health. Most of the time when we have a dog that has a heart murmur, we're going to recommend chest x-rays and an echo, but an echocardiogram is going to give us the clearest picture of what's happening in the dog's heart, because we can see inside it. So we can look at heart valves, we can look at heart chamber walls, chamber sizes and walls of the heart, and actually that's how we get our diagnosis. It's a little different also than an ECG or an EKG. That's an electrocardiogram. That's actually looking at the way the heart is beating and the electrical system of the heart. So if your dog has an arrhythmia, a chest x-ray or an echocardiogram is not going to give us the diagnosis that an ECG is going to give, because that's going to diagnose an arrhythmic beat.
And so what's the prognosis for dogs with heart issues?
So it depends again on what their underlying diagnosis is. The vast majority of our heart disease dogs do have a fairly good prognosis when their diagnosis is made of having multiple months or even years of some treatment options. But again, it just depends on the final diagnosis that your dog gets with its heart health. And what treatment options are available and what is the abnormality of the heart to begin with, to know what is the prognosis for that dog.
And do I need a cardiologist to diagnose heart issues in my dog?
So a cardiologist is an expert on a dog's heart, a canine or feline cardiologist. So they're going to give us the most expert diagnosis and treatment plan, but we don't have to have them actually be physically seeing your dog to be able to get that diagnosis. We can partner with cardiologists here in our day practice by telemedicine. So we can send them x-rays, we can send them echocardiograms, we can send them ECGs, we can pick up the phone and have conversations with them. So we can get the diagnostic tests done in our hospital that we need to, to make that diagnosis. If we have any problems or concerns, or we want an expert opinion, then we can reach out to our cardiologists and get a diagnosis and treatment plan from them without you ever having to go see a cardiologist. So again, cardiac disease in dogs is incredibly important diagnoses to make, and if you suspect your dog might have heart disease or has heart disease and you just would like to learn more about it, we recommend that you reach out to your veterinarian and ask those questions, or schedule an appointment to come talk to the team here at Blue Oasis Pet Hospital. We'd love to see you. Thanks.